Here is what makes biblical hope so unique. It's not tied to circumstances. Biblical hope is a confident choice to trust in God even when the future looks bleak. Unlike optimism, which tries to see the silver lining, biblical hope often acknowledges that things might not improve right away, but we hope anyway. Let's imagine you're looking ahead to a future that's better than today. Maybe you feel excitement bubbling up, or perhaps there is a mix of uncertainty. But you know deep inside that sense of longing and anticipation. You know that feeling, right? We call it hope. Hope is more than a fleeting emotion. It's a powerful state of expectation, essential for our well-being. And in the Bible, hope is a central theme, rich with meaning and depth. Reading the Old Testament, there are two Hebrew words that stand out. The first one is yakhal, which simply means to wait. For instance, Noah waited patiently on the ark as the floodwaters slowly receded. Noah had to yakhal, to wait for weeks, trusting in God's timing. The second Hebrew word is qavah, which also means to wait, but with an added layer. It comes from the word qav, meaning cord. Picture pulling a cord tight, creating tension, and holding that tension until there is a release. That's qavah. The feeling of expectancy and longing while you wait. For instance, Prophet Isaiah uses this imagery when he describes God as a farmer who plants vines and qavahs for a fruitful harvest. So, what are people in the Bible waiting or hoping for? Often it's not just better circumstances. They are waiting for God Himself. During time of crisis, for instance, Prophet Isaiah, Prophet Jeremiah, and etc., they talk about it. They expressed this kind of hope. Because they will say, for instance, in Isaiah chapter 8, verse 17, the prophet declared, "The Lord is hiding His face from Israel, but I will qavah for him. I will wait for him." This hope wasn't about blind optimism. It was rooted in God's character. For instance, in the book of Psalms, the words yakhal and qavah appeared over 40 times. You will hear the psalmist cry out to God, longing for His intervention. For instance, in Psalm 130, we can hear the raw emotion of the psalmist calling from the depths of despair. "I qavah for the Lord. Let Israel yakhal for the Lord, for He is faithful and will redeem Israel from all their sins." This is the essence of biblical hope. You look forward by looking backward, trusting in God's proving faithfulness. The psalmist sums it up beautifully in Psalm 39 verse 7. He says, "And now, O Lord, what else can I qavah for? You are my yakhal." Wow. And in our New Testament time, this kind of hope takes on new life through Jesus. His death and resurrection were God's ultimate response to humanity brokenness. The early Christian described this anticipation using the Greek word elpis, which captures a living, active hope. For instance, Peter wrote that through Jesus' resurrection, we are born into a living hope. 1 Peter 1:3. Paul spoke of that hope, elpis of glory, pointing to the resurrection and the renewal of all creation. That is Romans chapter 8, verse 20 to 21. You know, for the apostles, hope wasn't just about personal salvation. It was about the transformation of the entire universe. What happened to Jesus in His resurrection was a glimpse of what God promises for all creation. So you might wonder, what is Christian hope? What is my hope? My hope and your hope, it's not wishful thinking or a calculated optimism. It is the bold choice to wait. Hear that. You choose to wait. It is the bold choice to wait for God to bring about His plans, even when the odds seems impossible. Christian hope is rooted in Jesus. Your hope is rooted in Jesus, the risen Savior who has conquered sin and death. So we look back to His resurrection to find confidence for the future. It is a hope that transforms how we live. And it reminds us that no matter how dark things may seem, God is faithful. So we wait.